Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201. And on today's bonus podcast, we're going to talk about the loser, DNC Chair Ken Martin, who is a coward and a bitch and is too scared to release the autopsy of the 2024 election, which, by the way, the party's refusal to release its own autopsy of the last election is an alarming sign, which is amazing since today is also the release of the alleged release, by the way, of the Epstein files. The files that have been released are all redacted, and it's the meme. It's just black lines everywhere and photos of Bill Clinton. So we didn't get the files. So amazingly, hiding a report after the last 8 weeks have all been about releasing a secret report we know exists. Really genius work here from the idiot that is Ken Martin. And look, what's even funny is Ken Martin, the chair of the DNC, said on Thursday that he had decided he wasn't going to publish a report that he ordered months ago, by the way, that cost about $40 million into what went wrong for the Democratic Party last year. Party officials have conducted more than 300 interviews, right, with Democrats in all 50 states, with the super PACs, the normal PACs, with former staffers of the Biden campaign, the Harris campaign, to create a document that Mr. Martin had once pitched the crucial thing to push forward the Democratic Party. And by the way, it feels like a cover up because what is in the report that allegedly is so bad? And now we're seeing that many Democrats, right, are including many people who are advising probably 2028 candidates, maybe myself included, wink, 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 and maybe a 2026 Senate candidate, wink, 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 said the DNC's decision to bury its 2024 autopsy report unfairly helps Harris if she runs again and shields the top party's consultants. Once again, this is the fucking problem with the DNC because everyone in the know, because I don't think the average person probably, if from what they understand of the DNC, they believe they rigged the 2016 process for Hillary Clinton because of the super delicate thing. So they understand that, right? They also believe the 2024 switcheroo and the original 2024 primary were also rigged to help Biden. Why else was South Carolina put first, right? And now we're already sowing doubts for 2028 because I am very certain that Ken Martin and whoever's paying Ken Martin want Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris to be the 2028 nominee. And I have said this many times, right? Anyone is allowed to run. But there is just nonsense with this that it looks like these are the candidates you want. And there is what's a proper way to phrase this? Because here's the thing. I do not like as the establishment class of Democrats. I also do not like the activist class of Democrats. And I think this fucking combination of both it led to a subset of many of the problems in 2024 because I understand the activists have no real power within the party, but they are the staffers within many of the Democratic Party, which lead to the anti male problem in the Democratic apparatus unless they are a soy boy bitch like Ken Martin. Okay? Because okay. There is a subset, by the way, of the Democratic Party that won't admit that Kamala Harris ran a terrible campaign and that Joe Biden had a failed presidency. And they're going to make winning in 2028 a challenge. Maybe some of them will revisit their priors before too late because there are still idiots today, almost Christmas 2025, that believe Joe Biden would have won the 2024 election when someone like a staffer for what was the Biden campaign leaked the polling information that was 1 week after his hospice debate performance that showed Joe Biden was tied in Virginia and losing every swing state by 10 points. And also New Jersey was within 2. Okay? And there are some people who still believe Biden's immigration policy was great. When, by the way, November of 2024 and January of 2025, when Trump took office, mass deportation was a 62% approval. Okay. Now it's somewhere around 51 because of the El Salvador and the mass police and all the other nonsense. But this is just a real fucking thing. So I think it's just amazing that you work on a project for a year and you choose not to. The autopsies, by the way, have value. Okay. And yes, what is this book that I have right here? Yeah. The Deciding to Win people did their own version of it, that was written by Simon Bazelon and also written by Lauren Harper Pope and Liam Kerr. I'm going to assume the DNC Autopsy looks a lot similar to the book I am holding in my hand, that, by the way, everyone should read, and probably amplifies the 5 key things we know, because let's be realistic, the entire various parts of the Democratic coalition hate each other, okay? The activists, like pronoun and bio type people, hate everyone. The establishment elders hate everybody because what do you mean I can't die in office? That's my right. The normies don't like like me, I don't know where I fall. Like, I hate the establishment, I hate the activist class. I am never going to do a fucking pronoun check-in. I want I like what Trump did at the border, as do most people. I do not like the mass police nonsense that is happening. I fucking hate the Fuentes rise. I do not like there is an anti-Semitism problem in both parties, by the way. Very different types of anti-Semitism having. I also do not think we should fund any foreign country, which means no weapons to Israel, but we also should not be fucking rebuilding Gaza. Okay? And if I were to guess what is in this autopsy, number 1 is probably Israel is the Gaza situation. That is definitely number 1. Okay. Number 2, because we're just gonna go by what all the other versions of this that we have seen, is the Democratic apparatus seems to be very anti-men and anti-white, specifically anti-white male. But you're gonna say there's a lot of white males in the they're not the type of normal guy, okay? Or the majority type guy. I'm talking about the Rogan, the Bill Simmons, the Theo Vaughn, the Andrew Schultz, these type of men. Because you already see the activist class hates these type of guys. How dare they say retard and judge women for being fat and body positivity and all the other bullshit, right? Number 3, I'm gonna is the woke shit, but the woke shit kinda goes into the whole hating men part of it, as well as immigration, because we still, by the way, have no idea who in the Biden administration was like, "Anyone and everyone gets to come in, there's no rules," and when all the illegals were flooded into the cities across America, they were still like, "No, I need legislation to fix this." When we saw Trump did something without legislation to defectively close the border, and I'm talking about just about the southern border part, not the mass police force nonsense, rounding people up and shipping them to El Salvador. Those are 2 separate things, and by the way, we are now a year into, um the fucking, Trump era and Trump 2.0, and the Democratic Party still has no, answer to what their immigration platform will be. It can't be whatever Biden did, right? They still have 0 answers to what their immigration platform to be. They still don't have an answer to how do you win back men? Because I know that overall the apparatus really does hate white men, as we saw that New York Times article about how DEI, like, in a structural way at elite institutions became a anti-white millennial male thing, and now the backlash against that because that shit has radicalized them, and you're seeing the socio fallout from that nonsense of how you just bred an entire fucking generation of voters who are so anti-democrat because they themselves view the party is against them just for existing, okay? There was a fucking thing that said, "Oh, of course you voted Democrat. You hate men, and the Democrats are a party for gays and women," because if you look at the people who are staffers at almost at any level of this, they are gay or women, blue hair vegans, etcetera. The whole stereotype that you see of, like, who lives in fucking Bushwick, Brooklyn, because 'cause they're the only idiots who wanna do these low-paying jobs. You don't see fucking any finance bro who's attractive and good looking, who's, like, proud to be a Democrat, and I know you're gonna fucking say, "Zoran's attractive," or whatever. Sure, whatever, but you don't see, like, cool people you wanna rock with and drink and all this. Well, the Democratic Party has a moral thing and blah, 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 blah. Okay? No. And you're like, "But we're winning." There's still not being Trump is not a winning message. I don't know how you learned this after 3 fucking elections. It's so dumb. Like, we know the basic disputes over the origins of the loss. It was obviously Biden's fault. He looked like he was about to die for fucking 3 straight years. Harris made a lot of fucking tactical errors. "I'm not gonna do anything different than Joe Biden," and blah, 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 blah. Right? This is and then it reeks of fucking compliancy, right? Because Ken Martin is a fucking idiot, a loser, and a bitch, right? He's like, "I don't wanna undermine the party's momentum." And he's like, "First of all, we're a year away, and people wanna know this information just so they know what not to do. This is the thing." Let me give you a good example. I am a New York Jets fan, okay? And as a fucking Jets fan, when the season ends in 3 weeks, what is the problem? What is missing from the New York Jets? Outside competency, like the Democrats. Uh, the New York Jets don't have a quarterback, okay? And that will be in their autopsy report when the season ends of what we did wrong. We need to get a quarterback. We're going to have to trade for the number 1 pick for the Indiana quarterback, and hopefully that fixes our problem. You see how that works? You see how that's an autopsy report? Or look at me. I work in television. So when we see what is working in shows and what doesn't, if the audience isn't responding to a fucking character, you kill off the character. The 100 did this with Finn because the show was considered horrible until fucking Finn died. You want to do another example? Star Wars Episode 8. That's fucking what I can't even remember the name of the fucking character that everyone hated in Episode 8, the Asian lady, that there was such a backlash to her, not because she was Asian, but because she was, like, fucking an insufferable bitch, that they just made her not even exist in Episode 9. Do you see how that fucking works? Or in 13 Reasons Why, after they fucking replaced Hannah Baker, they added this, new character, what the fuck? I'm trying to remember her name. I really Annie, right? They made her the fucking, narrator in season 3. Everyone fucking hated that so much that in season 4, she boom, gone. Do you see that? This is why you need people to know things so they change, so they don't make the same fucking mistakes. Also, assuming because you're doing elections well now mean you'll do good in presidential elections is fucking stupid, since the Democratic voter base is just all college educated people, okay? Who they're fucking foaming at the mouth to do anything that goes against Trump. Okay, that is their thing. The general electorate in a fucking presidential election is not that. Okay, because now that we know, we don't look, and it's true, we don't know if the Trump face transfers to JD Vance, probably not, but still the overall thing is, my God, you cannot they're not the same electorate at all. If you think like, well, we're moral and right, you're gonna vote for us, that's not how this works. The Democrats made the same fucking bullshit mistake in 2022 because they did better than expected, that they used an excuse to have the difficult conversation. Hey, maybe having a hospice patient as president shouldn't run again. And then they're being really cautious of this. But look, this is what's it called? Simon, who wrote the Deciding to Win Broke, had a good statement on it. He said, "This is reflective of a broader problem within the party where they're scared of making anybody in the coalition upset." Look at this. I don't give two shits about the fucking activist part of the party. I don't give two shits about the establishment part of the fucking party either. Okay, wow, you're old and over 70 and you're mad. People don't care about you. Guess what? You're probably going to be dead within a decade anyway, so fuck you. Oh, the activist class is mad that I'm not doing pronoun check-ins or land acknowledgments, or I don't think fat is beautiful. I don't give a fuck, okay? Jeez, fucking stupid. Like, okay, like, Democrats need to fucking I don't even know. I don't know. Ken Martin's a fucking bitch, okay? And look, if I win the $1.5 billion lottery, I know there's some fucking normal hopefully, there's some fucking normal person there that has access to the file, right? If I win the lottery, I'll fucking pay you to leak it. I'll leak it, and that's why fuck you, Ken Martin. You're a fucking bitch, and if you fucking do bullshit by, like, doing South Carolina first or whatever fucking nonsense to make that incompetent fucking woman or Gavin Newsom be the favorite because you want them instead of, like, changing your party, well, fuck you, your stupid fucking haircut. You look like fucking Pinocchio, okay? Fuck you, Ken Martin.